Does this happen to you? That you meet someone amazing. It's great from the start. Like you're having amazing time, you're spending a lot of time together, you're having amazing sex. The chemistry is amazing. You're spending the nights together. Everything is just great. And as and when things start to get a little bit more serious, you start to feel like you're being trapped in this relationship and you want to run away. Like your freedom is going to be taken care of you. And then you just run away, you move on. Or secondly, maybe this is you, that you meet someone amazing and you want to be with them, and they're amazing in the starting, but later on they start to feel a little bit aloof, and you start to feel that they don't like you anymore. You start to feel that they're going to leave you again, they're going to abandon you, and then suddenly some crazy thing happens where the person leaves or he just absolutely ghosts you, and you're just stuck out there feeling abandoned again, feeling all the feelings of pain coming up, and it's just miserable for you. If you could relate to either of the two examples, this video is for you. Let's go. Hi, my name is Kshitij. Welcome to High Worth Cycle. I teach high performers like you unleash high worth and get off the hamster wheel to have better intimate relationships, live a life full of boundless fulfillment, and have unwavering confidence. We do this by helping you get rid of the subconscious anchors, which might be creating a void in you right now, which might be creating all these problems with you right now. And for today's video about the relationships that we're talking about, the relationship styles that you have, which are the patterns which are going to be coming up repeatedly in your life, we're going to discuss where they're coming from. So firstly, the first example that I gave you, let's talk a bit more about it. So we call this first person a love avoidant. So what happens in a love avoidance life is, a love avoidant, which is me for the most part of the time, what would happen is I would get into a relationship either out of obligation, that I'm sort of stuck in the relationship, that I have to be in a relationship, or just because, you're just getting sex. You want to have sex and you want to be sexually active. So you get in that relationship there. And then slow and steady, as things start to get serious, you start to feel resentment towards your partner, because now you feel like your freedom is being taken away from you. You feel like you're going to be engulfed out there. You feel like you don't have time for yourself. You feel like they're going to stop you in your success journey and you will not be able to do a lot of things, and you're wasting a lot of time with them. But that might not also be true. All right. Maybe they're not giving you enough space, but we might be feeling like that. And that was the case with me. After that, what happens is the resentment grows even stronger. And what you do is now you run away, and you go away to get a break because you don't want to be engulfed out there, or you seek that intensity somewhere else. You meet a new partner, or you want to get into some place where you can feel that fun again, where you can do those fun activities again. Maybe you hook up with someone else, maybe you go on a trip, maybe you change your city. It could be as crazy as that, or maybe you go for adventure sports, anything like that. And then afterwards, what happens is it's all fine for you. All right, that person is calling you back and you don't want to be there. You'll almost like ghost them and everything. But now, after like a month or something, or maybe a couple of weeks, that person, your partner, ex-partner, is starting to move on and maybe starting to see other people. So you scroll on Instagram, you check out the Instagram, you see they've got a picture with someone else, or you see a story that they posted, right? And now what happens is you start to feel this pain of abandonment inside, and you go back. You go back because now you don't want them to move. So now you go back because you don't want to be abandoned, or maybe because when you broke up, you went away, you didn't want to be engulfed, and now you want to have some sex, or you want to have some crazy experiences. So you might go back to that person again after you've taken a break. Now, once you go back again, the cycle starts all over again. You go back, you connect behind a wall of seduction, all right? Or you're out there with obligation, and that will lead to resentment. It'll lead to even more problems, and then you run away, intensity seek. Once they start to move on, or once you want the sex again, you're going to call them up again, and the booty call that happens late night, that happens again. That was me for the longest time. Let's talk about the other pattern as well, and then we'll get to the root cause of it. So the other pattern, which I call a love addict. So what happens with a love addict is, if we're a love addict, we're going to meet someone to end the pain of abandonment that we might have felt before. And we want to belong with someone. We want to feel connected to them. We don't want to feel lonely at all. And we connect behind this fantasy wall, or we connect behind this idea of fantasy that this person is going to be amazing for me. And because this person is there, they're going to complete me. Once I have this person in my life, I'm going to be complete. My life is going to be amazing, and things are going to be just sorted automatically. All the problems that I have, they're just going to go away. So this is fantasy land that you go in. And then you're in that relationship. What you start doing is you start overburdening the person. You don't let him have a life of his own. You don't have boundaries, all right? You don't give him some time. You don't give him space. And you overbear yourself more and more and more and more. then that leads to that person either pulling back, ghosting you, leaving you, or some crazy awareness that comes into your mind, something that happens, and then that person leaves. And now again, you're left feeling completely empty, feeling like you just got abandoned, feeling like you're not enough, you're not complete, and you want that again. So now either you meet someone else and repeat the same cycle again, or you go back to the same partner, connecting in that fantasy world, that idea of that fantasy, and then again being getting hurt by the end of it. That's a love avoidant and the love addict pattern for you. Now, these patterns are so very much common out there. All right. Now, there's a third pattern as well, which is a very secure relationship. In a secure relationship, what happens is, in a secure relationship, it's very normal. All right. You meet a person, you let the person have their own space. You have your own space. You do your things. Then when you meet the person, you give them space. You have your own life. You don't feel like they're going to complete me. At the same time, you don't have a fear of intimacy. You don't have commitment issues. And you communicate and you build a relationship more synergistically. That's what happens in a secure relationship. Now, all these three patterns that I'm talking about, they come from, and they're heavily influenced by our childhood experiences. Because our childhood experiences are the ones that form certain subconscious anchors, and that lead to the way our relationships are going to be playing around. So if certain experiences, I'm going to cover a couple of those. If certain experiences like abandonment has happened, all right, like abandonment, if you've been abandoned by a parent, or if someone has left you, then that will make you have trust issues, and the pain inside is going to be so much. So to end that pain, you want to fill it up with someone else. And what you're going to do is you're going to look for a partner similar to, like, if you're a girl, you're going to be looking for a partner similar to your father, because maybe you didn't get the love of the father. If you're a man, you're going to be looking for someone similar to the mother, if that's where the pain happened. And we're going to meet that person. Now, this person is surprisingly going to have all the traits that our father had or a mother had. And because they're going to have those certain traits, that's what we're going to be projecting, that this person can be our father now, and they can complete the void that I feel inside, the pain that I feel inside, and they can put an end to it. So now what we're doing is, we're not meeting someone from the idea that they're their own person, but we're meeting them through projection, that, oh my God, this person is like him. So we're not looking at them the way they are, but the way we want them to be. Now, because they have all the traits of a father or a mother or whatever pain we want to end out here, also they're going to have the traits of either leaving, or either not being committed, or either just not being there, or either engulfing us and just keeping us stuck in that relationship where our freedom is not going to be there. So we're going to manifest that. And that's what happens. Now, when we get in that relationship, either we're going to be avoiding, because me being a man, anytime I'd be with a girl, I'd feel like my freedom is going to be taken away. I'm going to be engulfed out there, so I'm going to run away. At the same time, if you're a love addict, you're going to meet someone and you're going to feel like, I hope this person doesn't leave me, this person doesn't leave me. And you're going to have absolutely no sense of the boundaries. And guess what that person's going to do? That person is going to leave. So even if that person is not like that, the way we behave leads us to be stuck in the same relationship patterns again and again and again and again and again. And anytime what we do is, we blame the other person. Why are these girls or this guy so cheap? Why are they so clingy? Why are they so annoying? Why are they after my life? Or we're always like, why do we get ghosted? Why can't I find just one person to settle down with? And so much time we just blame the other person, and that's not true. That's not the main reason behind. The main reason is because we've grown up with these certain experiences that led us to that. If we've had a mother who would overburden us with her own problems, then what happens with us is we get enmeshed and we feel that we don't have enough boundaries out there. All right, we feel very codependent. We feel that our needs are not going to be taken care of, and we sort of get engulfed because our sense of self is not there. We're not, like, our needs are not going to be met. So when we grow up, we feel the same thing is going to happen in a relationship. So to protect us from that pain, we run away. Same thing with the love addict. When we don't receive the love, we always go after it. We chase it. If abandonment has happened, if neglect is happening, we're always chasing the love from our parents, our caregivers when we're growing up, but we don't receive that love. Maybe our parents are like, I'm busy right now, go. And they don't attend our events in school. They don't make us feel special. And there's this void that it is created inside us. This void of abandonment, this void of loneliness, this all these pains inside. We feel we can fill that up by someone else. But that's not true. All these patterns, all these voids, all these subconscious anchors, they have to be dealt with ourselves. We cannot project that on someone else and tell them to meet our needs. We've got to learn how to meet our own needs. But before that, we've got to learn how to let go of those subconscious anchors. And that's what we do here on High Cycle. We help you let go of the subconscious anchors and help you learn how to meet those needs. Now, another thing is that your relationship pattern might not be just one out of these two. It could be a combination and mix of both as well. All right, and that's completely fine as well. Because then the certain experiences we have, the certain traumatic experiences we have while growing up, it's not only just one experience that happens that leads us to it. Both of them combine. And a love avoidant, if we talk about, a love avoidant on a deep level is a love addict. He wants the love, but he's felt so much pain in his life that he does not want to put himself in another situation to be hurt again. So what he says is, I don't want the love. I don't want it. I'm going to be a player. I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to fuck around. I'm going to have casual sex here and there. I'm just going to just chill. And I don't need the love at all. Because the main pattern is, if I open up myself for love, this is our internal working model. If I open myself for love, I'm going to get hurt again. So what is the point behind that? I'm just going to have surface level experiences. And we get stuck without having any intimate relationship out there. The core fear is the fear of abandonment. That if I open myself up, I'm going to be abandoned again. And there's a higher likelihood for a love avoidant to be more lonely, because he's not going to go out there and seek that relationship. A love addict has lower chances of being lonely because they're constantly out there to find more stuff. All right. And they're putting themselves out there every time. And usually what happens is, like, a person who's a love addict is almost always going to be in a relationship. You don't see them ever be with themselves because they feel that something is incomplete. Like someone else is going to come and complete me. And those are certain patterns that are very important for us, because we cannot base our happiness reliant on someone else, because shit is going to happen in life. People are going to move away. People are going to move on. People are going to move on to the next world as well. Relationships come to an end. Every time going through the plus and minuses is not enough. If you feel complete only when you're with someone, there's clearly some problem with it. All right, there's clearly something that we're talking about here, and you can do much more about it. And that is why we started the High Worth Cycle as well, so that I can help you understand what are your relationship patterns, what are your deeper subconscious anchors which are making you feel like that, what were the core things which led to these certain patterns. And now, of course, watching the video, you would have gotten some understanding about it. So if you want to work with us, you want me to help you out with it, so what you can do is you can schedule a free call with us. We've taken out some time from our schedule to talk to you and to help you out with that, and to work with you in person as well. You can just go down in the link. You can click on it. You can schedule a free call. There's going to be a form out there. Fill up that form so that we're going to understand more about you. It's going to help us get the ground running. And we can get in a call. We can talk about your stuff and we can see how we can help you out even more. Now, certain actionable things that you can do right now to get started with it. The first thing that's going to come up is your defense mechanism of saying, no, my life is not like this. I had an amazing childhood. No problem happened with me. It's going to be more of denial, because we don't want to feel the pain inside. It's just too much denial, suppression, repression. So be aware of that as well. So you've got to be aware that you've got a pattern which is repeating again and again. And then try and understand where this pattern is coming from, the subconscious pattern that you're reliving again and again, and try to just connect the dots. Watch other videos on this channel. You're going to have a much better view, a much better overarching view. And make it okay to look at your life. All right. Just realize that if you're looking at your childhood, and I'm sure your parents gave you an amazing upbringing. It was amazing. They did the best that they could. But the way we perceived it, or the effect that it had on us, can still be worse. All right. Parents come from good intentions. But if you have to do this work, we have to think about ourselves right now. And do not think that you're doing a disservice to your parents or you're disrespecting them in any manner if you think this way. This is not about blaming them on anything, all right? So we've got to be very aware of how our childhood, our subconscious patterns, where did they come from? And that we're in this pattern, where did it come from? Next is going to be about the pain that is associated with that. And usually we repress that pain as well, and which keeps a lot of that stuck. And for that, we'll have to start making us feel safe again. We'll have to start making us feel okay. So some of the things that we can do is we can start to do something which involves the body more, because that's where the trauma gets stored. So if you're playing a sport, you're dancing, you're doing something with the community, people out there, that's going to be better. What you can do when you meet people out there, when you're in part of a community, let's say for a sport, or you pick up a dance or yoga or something like that, what you can do out there is you can give yourself proof that people are not bad. You can start to mimic those better relationships. You can start to mimic the secure relationships as well. And one of the biggest things is that it boils down to is our attachment. For us to understand why these patterns exist, we need to understand the relationship that we had with our caregivers, and mainly our mother and our father, mother more so even. So when a child is born, the child has certain needs, and it's the job of the parent to meet those needs. So the child is going to have needs of safety, love, validation, being taken care of, being given attention, being cuddled, and all that. Anytime his needs are not met, that creates voids inside him, that creates wounds inside him. And we grow up all our life and we just want to fill up these voids. So when those needs are met, we develop a secure attachment at that time. We feel secure and we grow up with secure relationships where we're not overly needy in a relationship. At the same time, we don't have intimacy issues and we don't want to just run away from a relationship. Things are more stable. It's attachment style, which is called the avoidant attachment style. What happens is the parent isn't there for the child. The parent isn't present for them. The parent isn't meeting the need of the child. So instead of meeting the needs, the parent's needs are not being met. And anytime the child is going up to the parent and wanting something, the parent is rejecting of his feelings. So the child has so much pain inside. What he starts to do is he starts to cope with being self-reliant. And he grows up and he starts to believe that I don't have needs. I don't need anyone. I don't want anything, because anytime I go close, anytime I need the love, anytime I open myself up, I get hurt. So he doesn't want to get hurt again. He closes himself off. And that leads to a love avoidant. Now, another attachment style is the anxious avoidant. In that, what happens is the parent, instead of meeting the child's needs, what happens is the child does not know when my needs are going to be met. Sometimes his needs are met, sometimes his needs are not met, doesn't know. At the same time, the parent would overburden the child as well. Instead of meeting the child's needs, what the parent does is the parent meets their own needs. They're going to overburden the child with their problems, their own things, and wanting their own emotional needs to be met by the child. So now, either the child again moves into an avoidant relationship thing, that this is getting too burdening for me, I don't want to be here, I want to run away. Or because of the way that the parent is sometimes there, sometimes not there, the child doesn't know when he's going to receive the love, when he's going to feel abandonment, when he's going to be beaten up. He starts to get more and more and more needy. And if there's abandonment happening here, again, he'll be more and more needy, and which will lead to him growing up and getting into the love addict category. Understanding these patterns, the way the attachment we had with our parents, the relationship we had with the parents growing up, is the main reason how our relationships look with people. If we're able to have deeper connections with people, if we're able to open ourselves up, if we're needy, if we're clingy in a relationship, or we're just completely avoidant. Having a certain set of friends out there who you can trust, you can start to give yourself the proof that people are not going to leave you, that it's okay to open yourself up in relationships, that it's going to be fine. And you can start to meet your own needs as well out there. All right. You can start to look at what do I need in this moment and give yourself there where you feel like you want that love, you want that stuff. Give it to yourself. All right. Write yourself a letter where you tell yourself all the loving things out there. Do the things that you want to do. And slow and steady, you can start to come out of it as well. Of course, a lot of inner work is going to be required to help you let go of those subconscious patterns and a lot of the subconscious stuff as well. But these are certain things that you can start doing as well. Another thing I want you to do is, anytime you notice these patterns coming up, this fear of abandonment, this chase of just grabbing onto someone, or this just running away that I cannot stay here, I'm going to get engulfed. I want you to stay and observe. I want you to stay and observe that what is it that you feel, and try to be in that situation, that it's okay. Calm yourself down. Learn how to regulate your emotions out there. Meditation is an amazing way for this. Doing yoga is an amazing way, because when you're breathing, when there's pain going on, you learn to breathe in those positions. All right. It really helps out there. Another thing that you need to understand is that when we go down this route of doing the inner work, of helping us out there, of uncovering the deepest subconscious patterns, it brings up a lot of pain. A lot of things happen around, and things will get worse before they start to get better. So you can start to take more steps, because earlier we were not equipped with all the tools out there. We were just a kid who cannot do anything about it. But now we're grown-ups, we're adults, and we can understand that these patterns are not helping us right now. So we can move ahead with that, and we can go ahead and work on these patterns for us as well. I hope you learned something today. I hope you understood some of the patterns. I hope you got some insight into why your relationships are looking the same again. That's going to be all from my side. I will see you guys in the next video. If you're not subscribed to the channel right now, make sure you hit the subscribe button, you spank it, smash it, and demolish it. This is Kshitij signing off. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.